Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Dragon Age Inquisition. Last time, we were supposed to go to Valrio, but I ended up spending a lot of time wandering around here and talking to people, and we still have to talk to Josephine.
Good day to you.
Anything to report?
What do the people make of us?
Despite our fame, we're low on steadfast allies. We must aim for more.
How are our guests?
Any visiting dignitaries I should watch out for?
Sir Griffith of Denerim, a most distinguished knight of the realm. He's defeated darkspawn, slain demons, chased down abominations. Just don't ask him about it over dinner. He spares no detail.
Sounds like this guy should be a companion.
What may I do for you?
Let me check.
What do the people make?
Despite our fame, we're low on steadfast allies. We must aim for more.
Okay, what about the allies we have?
Any thoughts on the people here?
Who did you mean?
Solas?
What's your impression of Solas?
I suppose I should be wary of an apostate, but our elven mage has conducted himself with the utmost propriety. And he has the most fascinating stories.
That is true. Cassandra? Ooh, and Cullen.
Commander Cullen came to mind.
The commander is an intelligent, cautious man. I'm grateful he's in charge of our standing army. Still, he does sometimes resemble the man with a hammer to whom everything appears as a nail.
What about Cassandra?
I was thinking of Cassandra.
Seeker Pentagast is a princess of the Kingdom of Nevada, although that barely seems important to her. She was not interested when I asked if we might make use of her royal relations. Still, the Inquisition would not have formed without Cassandra. She's an extraordinarily driven woman.
If we get the party banter, I believe she's like 74th or something ridiculous in line for the throne. So it's not like she's a direct princess, but rogues. Varric.
I was thinking of Varric.
Oh, I could listen to his tales for hours. He actually let me read a chapter of his next book he's writing. My friends would be sick with envy if they knew. It's excellent, but a bit different from his past works. Only 3 beheadings so far.
Okay.
Let's speak later.
Farewell.
I just wanted to
What may I do for you?
let's actually talk with her. How did you meet Leliana?
How do you and Leliana know each other?
We moved through similar circles in Norlay. I believe we actually met in Val Royeaux. Leliana was quite an accomplished player of the game by then.
What's the game?
What exactly do you mean when you say the game?
Forgive me. The game refers to the slow duels of influence among the noble and powerful of Orlais. It's a rather light-hearted name for the matter, but Orlesians are fond of playful touches.
What brought you here?
Tell me how you came to work for the Inquisition again.
I'd been considering leaving my post in Antiva for a new challenge when Leliana recruited me. There's such unrest in Thedas, and the Inquisition seems a promising method to stop it. It's to everyone's benefit if we prevent the Mage-Templar conflict from spreading further.
That is true. Is order why you signed on?
So was it the prospect of stability that drew you here?
The full impact of the Mage Rebellion has yet to be felt, and that was before the death of the Divine. The violence must be curbed before we see it turn to full-scale war.
I think it's interesting that Josephine is writing and talking to you at the same time. Like, she's able... I can't do that. Like, I cannot have a conversation with you and then be writing a completely different thing down. So yes, I agree. Perhaps it's necessary. I do think it can be toned down, for sure.
I can only imagine the bloodshed if it escalates further.
I'm afraid history holds many examples of what will happen if it does.
What are your duties?
What exactly does your job entail?
I meet with ambassadors from various factions and countries, and cement alliances with them. We are a young cause. Diplomacy is essential to our credibility.
So you're a representative?
Then you speak for the Inquisition with these nobles?
I do. Someone must foster goodwill on our behalf, as well as prevent controversy as news of us spreads.
Are we that controversial? We just had this conversation. We know we're controversial.
How heavily are our actions scrutinized?
Make no mistake, every noble house, every throne is waiting to see what the Inquisition does next. Many are willing to pledge support, if offers are made in just the right fashion. I intend to see that they are.
I appreciate your efforts, Josephine. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about your work.
What did you do before coming here?
I had the great honor of serving Antiva's crown as ambassador to Orlais. I'm also first in line to become the head of House Montilier, though my siblings attend to our mercantile affairs.
Are you doing this for Antiva?
How strong are your past loyalties?
I would never have given up my position if I did not intend to fully commit to the Inquisition. We cannot fall back on borders. Antiva is as threatened as any country by the rebellions. If anything, the alliances I forged there may help our current cause.
Sounds like she had a very, I would assume they paid her very well. And she had a very secure position. And it's interesting to me that she chose to come here, which is such a high risk. So she has to care about this a lot. And she has to have been itching for a challenge, which I think this says a lot about Josephine. Will we have other causes?
Do you think the Inquisition will continue after we seal the breach?
If we prove ourselves by healing the breach, people may turn to us for other things. Protection, counsel, justice. The Inquisition offered these once to those in need.
What does your family do?
What business are the Montiliers in exactly?
We began as merchants. My ancestors founded the first trade routes to Rivain. We once sent entire fleets across the waking sea.
Once?
But not anymore.
No. These days, our vessels are a touch more modest.
Do you believe I'm holy?
Tell me, do you believe I was saved by Andraste at the Temple of Sacred Ashes?
I should much like to believe so, Your Worship. The miracles Andraste performed were so long ago, they're difficult to picture. If it were truly her and the Fate who saved you... Well, in any case, many already believe you walk in the Maker's light.
Let's speak later.
Farewell.
Your worship is also a religious title. We turned in... Let me double check that she has nothing else to talk about.
Good day to you.
Yeah, nothing else. Okay.
Let's speak later.
Farewell.
I'm gonna walk out here. Okay, she doesn't have anyone to talk to. I forgot to check these two people by the horse thing.
How many people are going to die before this is over? Not as many as would have if we weren't here. Now hush and pass me a bandage.
Alright, so those two didn't have anything to say.
Sister? No. I know their purpose, but you remember I once ministered in a circle chantry.
Yes, I assumed you were used to having Templars around, keeping us safe from the mages.
The mages in the circle followed the chant of light as faithfully as the Templars, sister. More faithfully than some Templars, even. Some of the things those Templars did when they thought I did not see.
Alright, let's go ahead and talk to her.
Blessed are the peacekeepers, the champions of the just. Blessed are the righteous, the lights in the shadow. In their blood, the Maker's will is written. Is that what you want from us? Blood? To die so that your will is done? Is death your only blessing? You speak for Andraste, no? What does the Maker's prophet have to say about all of this? What's his game?
How is this a game?
Do you see the sky? What about the temple ruins? the bones lying in the dust. Even if you didn't support the Divine's peace, you wouldn't call this right. Who could? So many innocent lives. The faithful murdered where the holiest of holies once stood. If the Maker willed this, what is it if not a game or a cruel joke?
Doesn't work that way.
I speak for no one but myself, and I have no answers for you.
You probably don't even worship the Maker. Lucky. He asks a lot. The Chantry teaches that the Maker abandoned us. He demands repentance for our sins. He demands it all. Our lives, our deaths. Justinia gave him everything she had, and he let her die.
She's obviously in a very rough spot right now.
I'm sorry. Her death has clearly hit you hard.
Not just me. All of us. She was the Divine. She led the faithful. She was their heart. If the Maker doesn't intervene to save the best of his servants, what good is he? I used to believe I was chosen, just as some say you are. I thought I was fulfilling his purpose for me, working with the Divine, helping people. But now she's dead. It was all for nothing. Serving the Maker meant nothing.
Leliana. I don't think she would...
I'm not really the best person to talk to. Doesn't the Chantry have people for this?
So I should let a priest comfort me? No, this is my burden. I regret that I even let you see me like this. It was a moment of weakness. It won't happen again. Come, to work then. We will speak later.
She's not doing so well, which is totally understandable. She's had a rough... Oh gosh, okay.
So it's true. Butler has stand on us. I hope my hunch was wrong.
You knew him well?
Not as well as I thought. Show me the reports. There were so many questions surrounding Faria's death. Did he think we wouldn't notice? He's killed Faria, one of my best agents, and knows where the others are. You know what must be done. Make it clean. Painless if you can. We were friends once.
So this is a weird... Leliana has a mechanic in this game where basically she's served the Divine for a long time. She's done a lot of things that she's killed people. She's gone through a lot of really terrible things that she shouldn't have had to do, but she did have to do. And it's hardened her character because of it, regardless of what happened in Origins. And so you can either let her continue down the path that she is on, or you can try to soften her and bring her, back to that kind of the same choices you have in Origins. You can have her softened or you can have her hardened. And the path that we went with Origins is that, killing is not who she is. There are 3 main conversations that you can have with Leliana that influence her character. This is one of them. And while it is possible to ignore this conversation, it makes sense for Anon at this time, or really any character that you're playing this with, to just let her do her job, because I don't know the situation. I don't know what's going on. And while it is possible to remain silent here and then influence her in the other 2 conversations to soften her, it's also, there's something else going on. We don't really understand the full mechanics. So I could skip this conversation and she might still soften at the end, or I could skip this conversation and she may still go on a murderous rampage. We don't really know exactly what totally influences her. That's the problem, and I am not willing to mess up this conversation at the beginning and then get to the end of the game and realize that, oh, I did it wrong. Because that would just, that would be awful. So we're going to interfere here, even though it doesn't necessarily make sense for us to interfere. We're going to do it.
Wait, what are you doing?
He betrayed us. He murdered my agent.
And you'd kill him, just like that.
You find fault with my decision?
Just that one. Killing him's a waste. Interesting. Huh. I'm curious. I'm gonna do it.
If he has knowledge, then he's a resource. Use him.
He's a loose end who could escape and get word to our enemies. Butler's betrayal put our agents in danger. I condemned one man to save dozens. I may not like what I do, but it must be done. I cannot afford the luxury of ideals at a time like this.
You should like what you do. Find a better way.
I expected better from the Inquisition's spy master.
You've made that point clear. Apprehend Butler, but see that he lives. Now, if you're happy, I have more work to do.
I usually choose the more idealistic, but I wanted to try something different. I think the idealistic is better.
Reports of fade rifts and demons keep coming. The people are terrified, and it's only getting worse. The only thing that will calm their fears now is the hope that someone out there can save them. You have to be that someone. No one else has any power over the rifts. Seal them. Your legend will spread, and Thedas will learn to trust the Inquisition.
Oh, I think... Oh, should I talk to her right now or do it later? Why do you care about mages?
Why do you want me to seek out the rebel mages? Why do you care?
I've known mages. Some of them were better people than me. And yet I'm free and they're not. It's not right.
You're well connected.
You seem to know a great many people.
I have made friends, and on occasion enemies. It's unavoidable.
You met the hero Ferelden?
You have a history with the warden who ended the Blight, don't you?
She's always in my thoughts. Even when we're far apart. My love is on a quest of her own. When the Inquisition has no further need of me, I will join her. For good this time. I have lost enough. I will not lose her as well.
Did you know Hawk?
They say you spent some time in Lothering. Did you know the champion?
We spoke a few times. I seldom left the Chantry, and we never became more than casual acquaintances. I saw more of the Hawk twins. Bethany in particular. She would spend time in meditation at the Chantry, and she seemed to like my stories. The other one, the young man, he was a little surly. I did encounter the champion again later in Kirkwall. Those were terrible times.
Why were they terrible?
Was this when the Chantry was destroyed?
No, that happened later. But even then, the news coming out of Kirkwall was disheartening. There were some in Val Rayeau who wanted the Divine to declare an exalted march on Kirkwall. Justina sent me there to see if that could be avoided, to gather evidence to calm those agitating for war. I guess it didn't matter in the end.
We can continue this conversation later.
You know where I am.
I have more to say.
Did you need something?
Yes. Tell me about yourself?
Let's talk about you.
Me?
Tell me about your past.
What did you do before you worked for the Divine?
I was a bard, an Orlesian spy for many years. For a time I also served a small cloister in Lothering. After the Blight, the Divine called on me to oversee her personal network.
I'd like to be a bard. I don't think so, but I'll pick the dialogue option.
Can you teach me to be a bard?
Being a bard is so much more than being a spy. It involves a keen understanding of politics. The ebb and flow of influence. The great game. The bard's is an intricate dance where a smile can be sharper than any dagger. The best way to learn is to immerse yourself in it. Perhaps when this is all over, I'll teach you.
You have any stories?
Bards tell tales. I bet you tell some good ones.
There are plenty of tales in the library. Perhaps you should look for them there.
Oh, she has no stories to tell.
I should leave you to your work.
We can always talk later.
That's really sad. She's full of stories and origins. It's like she's had enough.
Yes?
I still have more questions. Any updates?
Anything I should know?
I've nothing to report at the moment.
Okay. You were Justinia's left hand?
They called you the left hand of the Divine.
That they did? What of it?
What is it? What does the left hand do?
What exactly does the left hand of the Divine do?
A divine always has enemies, and Justinia had more than most. I protected her. I watched, had an ear to every door. I identified threats, and I dealt with them.
Why so many enemies?
Why did Justinia have so many enemies?
There were many who felt she was unfit to be divine. She had a past, a worldly life. Unlike many, she wasn't given to the chantry as a child. She chose it, and somehow that made her unworthy. And because they thought she was unworthy, they wished her harm.
Sounds like a spy master.
So you were her spy master too?
I handled difficult situations that couldn't be resolved through more delicate means.
Why aren't you part of my party?
I could use the left hand of the Divine at my side out there.
Every agent out in the world is my eyes, my ears, my blade. Wherever my people are, I am also. Coming with you, leaving my post, would blind and bound me. Do you see?
I do. Tell me more about Justinia.
I'd like to hear about Justinia. What was she like?
A friend. A mentor. Like me, she had secrets, made mistakes. It made her human. I think her followers responded to that.
Were you more than friends? Oh, great. How did you meet?
How did you and Justinia meet?
I met her a long time ago, before she became divine. Before she was Justinia. When I met her, she was Mother Dorothea. I was at my lowest. Broken, lost. And she saved me. No, wait. She hates it when I say that. I saved myself. She just showed me it was possible.
Were you more than friends?
Was there something more than friendship between you?
You're asking if we were lovers?
I wasn't.
Typical. I was devoted to her, therefore it must be romantic. Love is common. Love is simple. My bond with Justinia was something greater. She was a sister, a mother, a teacher. So to answer your question, yes, it was more than friendship.
That's all I meant.
We'll talk more later.
Yes?
I think... Alright, you were... So... Is there more here?
You seem to know a great many people.
I have made friends, and on occasion enemies.
Oh.
It's unavoidable.
How do you know Josephine?
You seem to know Josephine quite well.
I met her a long time ago, but we didn't become good friends until years later. After the Blight, in fact. I'd just returned to Val Rayo, and she welcomed me back by throwing a diplomatic ball. She was the Antivan ambassador at the time, you see. The ball was... alright. Too many politicians. At midnight, Josie and I left to find a real party. We've been friends ever since.
A real party?
What do you consider a real party?
It's not a real party until someone's small clothes are pinned to a chantry board. And that's all I'm saying about it.
We can continue this conversation later.
You know where I am.
Sounds like a reference to Leliana's DLC.
Did you need something?
Yes.
They called you the left hand of the Divine.
That they did. What of it?
Why start an Inquisition?
What is the point of an Inquisition?
Justinia would have started the Inquisition if the Divine Conclave failed to restore peace. She hoped that with enough support, we could challenge the very tenets of the Chantry. She wanted the Chantry to treat the mages fairly. But sometimes I wonder, why stop at mages? The Chantry has committed many injustices. If we're going to change it, why not change the whole thing? It's just a thought. None of this will be possible if we fail.
I'm sorry she died.
I'm sorry she didn't live to see the Inquisition.
So am I.
We'll talk more later.
I still haven't made it to Valrio. We said we were gonna do it, so we're gonna do it. Nothing? 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 Alright, let's do this. Oh, I have perks. Okay, yes, perks are important. I think we want to do secrets first. So what this Death Hands Find Tools, we need to unlock. There's some places that are locked and even your rogue can't open them, and you have to get this perk that makes rogues open masterwork locks, which is silly. Gain a collection. No, these aren't worth it all. So now we have writs that we the scout that we saved that was having the date with the mage. She is an agent of Leliana, and that counts towards our requirements to unlock some of these. This needs 4 points. Eagle-eyed. Discovery range of the searching action. Optimal cutting grants 10% chance to receive extra herbs. That's useful. And arcane knowledge. Oh yes, okay. So each of these secrets, horses, and connections all have a knowledge that you can unlock, and this is really important for certain dialogue options and things. So this is XP for killing foes, and this one is, oh, okay, this is for items sold, so that's nice. Let's go ahead and get this, because that's super important. Alright. So our map is now expanded. I do want to step into the Black Emporium for a minute here.
My scouts are posted on the ridges in case there's any trouble.
Voices on the wind speak of a new power abroad in the world. Inquisition, they whisper, an ancient name restored, a memory rekindled and transformed into a blaze of hope. I hear the whispers and summon the fires of the Inquisition. Here in the depths beneath the city of chains, countless mysteries hide in shadow in anticipation of the light. Come, Black Emporium awaits. Xenon, the antiquarian, must spend his days composing melodramatic invitations to his establishment. I imagine being stuck in a chair for centuries leaves one somewhat lacking for entertainment. This particular message was hand-delivered by a cloaked figure at twilight, precisely as the sun disappeared beneath the peaks. My men spied the courier lurking about our outer gates for at least an hour, waiting for sunset, a servant under the command of some very specific instructions, I assume. That aside, I would encourage a visit to the Black Emporium. The antiquarian's hoard is legendary. Only those he deems worthy ever lay eyes on it. The champion of Kirkwall received an invitation once and reported, among other things, a strange mirror that could transform even flesh and bone. Who knows? We may uncover something that aids in the battle against Corypheus. Leliana. A ship has been secured. Be wary of what you find in the Black Emporium, Inquisitor. I've heard many frightful tales. So we're gonna go. I'm not gonna take anyone with me because it doesn't matter.
Do not antagonize Chauncey the tiny bear. He may be small, but he nips.
Oh, there he is. There's Chauncey. He also has a nug and a something else running around in here. I don't think we'll be back in here. There's all kinds of stuff that we can buy, weapons, accessories. Kind of like same thing as in Dragon Age 2.
Urchin, bring me a moist towelette.
I don't know where his urchin is, or his golem. Oh, Meredith is in here. Where is Meredith? She's in here somewhere. Is this it? Yeah, I think this is it. See that? It's really hard to see. But that's that red thing right there in the very left corner right there. That's Meredith. That's her statue. It got put in here somehow. That's where she is.
Where is the urchin? I require the services of the urchin.
I don't know where he is, dude. Xenon the Antiquarian. I left the Black Emporium empty-handed for two reasons. First, most of the items were priced far beyond what I could afford. Second, I spent most of my short time there trying to sate my curiosity about its proprietor. I found myself stealing glances at the Antiquarian from behind piles of books between shelves and at one point over a basket of mismatched socks. There he sat, petrified, in the center of the Emporium, skin of waxy gray over ancient taut sinew, moaning in a voice so dry and brittle it sounded like the snapping of twigs after a drought. A girl of not more than 12 scurried to and fro to fulfill his numerous requests. Another patron noticed my fascination and told me that the girl, most likely an urchin rescued from the street, was responsible for the needs of the Antiquarian. Feeding, washing, and the like. So impossibly old is he and so fragile his skin, he can only tolerate the barest whisper of touches from the smallest and most tender of his servants. So apparently he has more than one urchin, because I'm pretty sure the urchin from Dragon Age 2 was a boy. Only in this way may he come close to his lost youth, said the man. I was surrounded by objects of legend, yet none fascinated me as did the Antiquarian. Journal found in Kirkwell's Darktown, written by an unknown author. He does have a dialogue here that apparently Josephine's family once visited here and bought some kind of artifact. I don't remember what it is. And he wonders if Josephine knows of it or if it's still in her family. Anyway. So Anon sometimes has some strange face shapes. And I was wondering, I fixed her cheeks. I'm going to show you. Again, it only matters if you care to ever make her. So I put her cheekbones are now over here, which fixed some issues. I think her mouth might be too big for her face. But I don't want to make it too small either. So we'll do that.
Well, I'm obviously in no position to judge.
Thanks, Xenon.
Only the word. Sing only the
I have heard rumors of a way to reverse the right of tranquility.
Yes, I have heard them as well.
Would you wish to have yourself restored?
I do not believe that would be wise. The number of demons present might leave me vulnerable to possession. I might also experience feelings of discomfort over events that occurred while I was in this state.
Aww.
I can survive in this fashion. If I were made whole again, I might not.
It is a terrible bargain we ask you
As
to
the
make.
moth sees light and goes toward flame, she should see fire.
It's interesting
and
that she
go
recognizes that something might disturb her. I don't know. Either she recognizes it or she's just parroting what she's heard. Because if she recognizes it, then there's like some shred of emotion still left. I don't know. Versus if someone was like, that should bother you, and she's just parroting it. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna go to Valrio. Oh, I should, so these we can complete. This is gather
You were saying
coin.
something about Cullen?
Yes. Haven has limited space for our soldiers to train. Perhaps we could set up something over here.
So these little things, these are locations we can go to. These triangle pyramid-looking things, and then these are actions we can do, and I try not to click on them unless I'm actually going to do them, because this little sparkle thing at the top goes away, and they really should leave the map when you complete them, and they don't, and it's hard to know what is going on. Let me look up. I go to the wiki and I look up the title before I decide to click on it, so that I can keep the sparkle marker. Herald, your Inquisition says it's for order against chaos, reason and darkness. If you stand by this, come forth and drive the heretics from my lands. They claim to be refugees, but I have seen elves and apostates among them, filthy savages tearing at our roots. Our monarch refuses to send forth armies, and my own knights were decimated at the conclave. I require your aid to return peace to my lands. Prove your loyalty, and I will see you richly rewarded for your faith. Praise the light, Lord Kildarin of Ferelden. So we can choose who to send on these quests, and you do get different rewards depending on who you send in. You'll also notice that this one will take 20 minutes to complete. So these are timed in, that's real world time. Oh, this will be, okay, if I send these two, it'll be 19. If I send Cullen, it'll be 20. So 20 minutes, whether you're playing the game or not, that mission will complete itself. So Josephine, yes, Lord Kildarn, a pariah even among his peers, let us send a polite refusal and nothing more. Leliana, we can take advantage of his raving. My spies can harass the refugees into moving somewhere else to win Lord Kildarn's favor. Cullen, we could send a few patrols, but I'd prefer they help the refugees, not this Lord Kildarn. So if we send Leliana might be interesting if we actually got something out of this. But I think it's a one-time only thing. I don't think it has a secondary quest. So we're gonna send Cullen.
All right.
So Cullen's gonna handle that. And then I still have Leliana and Josephine that I can send somewhere. So what does the turn of High ever want? Remember how I said we were gonna get to Valreo? Alright, so I can send anybody on that one. So let's see what Varric needs here. Ruffles, I need a favor. Actually, let's call it a loan, since I'll pay it back. I got a letter from my editor in Kirkwall today. She tells me that Harden Hightown 3, the Repuntioning, appeared in print form from an Antivan printer a couple weeks ago. I'll give you a moment to contemplate the horror that is that title. I had my contacts in the Merchants Guild look for the author a couple years back. The best they could find out after spending a couple hundred gold was that Prial Lenforth is a pen name. I could have told them that for free. We've got contacts with the Antivan print house. Maybe you could find out more than the guild. Varric. So we can send Leliana. If this author has evaded the Merchants Guild, the Crows might be a better choice for investigating him. That sounds a bit extreme. Josephine, I could ask a friend in Antiva City to look into this matter, I suppose. This seems more like up Josephine's alley, even though Leliana will take less time. So let's go ahead. Let's send Josephine.
At your service.
Seems more character appropriate, and it's not like we're pressed for time. Oh, contact Clan Lavellan. Who do I have Leliana left. I think Leliana is the person we need. So each race, if you're human, dwarf, Canary, whatever, you have your own like family quest. And if you're Lavellan, then there's like 7 Clan Lavellan quests, and they can die in every single one. There's at least one option in which they die. It's really brutal. So you gotta pay attention. Clan Lavellan offers greetings to the Inquisition and wishes it well in sealing the breach that has opened in the sky. While some Baelish clans hate humans and wish nothing to do with them, Clan Lavellan has always dealt fairly with all and wished only for peace. That said, we have on occasion been forced to defend ourselves from those who saw us only as potential victims. It has come to our attention that a member of our clan is being held captive by your Inquisition. She went to the Conclave only to observe the peace talks between your mages and Templars, and we find it highly unlikely that she intentionally violated our customs. If she has been charged with a crime, we would appreciate hearing of it. If not, it would ease our concerns to hear from her to know that she remains with the Inquisition of her own will. We await your reply. Keeper Istem Methorial, Lavellan. So, Leliana, the Dalish respect deeds, not words. Let my elven agents deliver something the clan needs as a show of good faith. Cullen would send soldiers, and the clan sees that as an attack, and they all die. It just starts a fight, and they all die, and it's awful. I think Josephine is also safe, but let's send Leliana. I like her better.
Let's see what we have.
So they are now all doing their own missions. This is a this gather coin. This is a repeated mission. We can just get money. Storm Coast, yeah, we'll be going there soon, as well as we'll be going here as well. But we've been meaning to go to Valrio for forever, so let's finish that.